Hi.
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 Hi. Who's here today?
Okay. Hey, everyone. We are here today. I'm super excited. Today, we are here with Brandi Salerno, owner of Brandi Allyse Photo. But I will not intro you too much, Brandi. I will let you intro yourself.
Okay.
And just to give us a quick intro of who you are and the hats that you wear.
All right. Yeah, I'm Brandi. I'll be 39 soon.
Oh,
which
she's
is
in her
crazy.
30s. Oh,
Still in
both
my
of you.
30s.
Oh, gosh.
I feel like I identify with close to 40, though.
Okay.
I'm
Do you
embracing it already.
44?
I'm embracing it already. I am a wedding photographer. I am also a social media and content manager for a creator friend in our area. I'm married my high school sweetheart. I have 2 kids. And yeah, all the things.
How old are the kiddos? Can I ask?
So I have a 12-year-old girl and almost 9-year-old boy.
I have a 9 and 12.
Oh my
but
gosh.
flipped.
Fun.
12-year-old boy.
Okay.
9-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So middle school?
Yeah. Middle school cheer this year.
All the things.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're jumping into it. I am a cheer mom. And it's funny. So we live in the town where I grew up. So she's cheering for the same town that I cheered for. It's a whole moment. I'm trying not to be emo about it every time I watch her, but it's
That's so
seeing
special.
her in the same uniform. I'm like,
That's really sweet.
That's really fun. Does
It's
she
fun.
love it? Or is it
She loves it.
Yeah.
She loves it so
Does she do
much.
competitive cheer too or just
She
for school?
did for 2 years before.
Okay.
And then now we're just doing school.
Okay.
She's very familiar
So
with all of
I'm
it.
excited for today because Brandi and I have worked together for years,
Yeah.
and I have never actually asked you how you got into photography or your career journey. Usually when we work together, it is literally like jumping in and hi, good to see you. Now let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would actually genuinely love to hear how you got into photography and that your career
We had
journey.
to start a podcast for them to get to know each other and have a conversation.
I know, so happy we're having this moment,
yes.
Stacy. So in high school, I was always the girl that like carried a huge film camera with me. My grandpa was a hobby photographer. So he would like give me hand-me-down gear. And so going into college, I wasn't really interested in anything else. So I was like, I'll get a degree in photography. And yeah, that's what I did. Went to Texas State, got a BFA in photography, and right out of there I worked at like studios and kind of did other just odd jobs while having like a separate little portrait business, and then went full-time weddings probably like 8-ish years ago now. But started my business in 2009.
Were weddings always like the end goal, or did you kind of have to get in there and
I had no interest in doing weddings initially. It was like very intimidating to me. So portraiture felt just like easier. And then after I got married, the photographer I hired was like a celebrity to me. And when I got engaged, I was like, I can't believe I get to finally like ask her to, and I followed her blog just religiously. And so she photographed my wedding. She did amazing. And then months later, she was looking for a second shooter for weddings. And I was so nervous. Even though we had like got a relationship during my wedding process, I was still nervous to ask her like, will you let me do that? And she was like, oh girl, yes. And so I second shot with her for a few years, a couple hundred weddings with her. Then that's what kind of gave me confidence to be like, oh, I could do this.
Yeah.
But weddings are a totally different ball game as far as photography,
Absolutely. Was there I guess we should say, because it's always interesting when you talk to other business owners. So all 3 of us are business owners.
Yeah.
Did you
Congrats
think you
to
would
us.
be did you think you'd be a business owner? Or did it just kind of happen,
I do think that was always going to be my journey. Not like I want to say this, and it's okay if we don't love it. But like my sister, like my phrase, my sister knows this. Like, what do I say all the time? It's like, don't tell me what to do. And I don't mean that in a rude way, but like I like to be my own boss, and not that like I can't work for someone. Like I can take direction, absolutely, but yeah, in an ideal world, I like to make my own schedule.
I was the same way.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was the same way. I think in the NICU, when I worked in the NICU, I was like trying to come up. I know, those a lifetime ago. I would come up with like I'd ask this girl, I had this girlfriend. We would make bags. And I'm like, we should open our own store and just sell bags. Like, what a dumb idea. But I literally was I was grasping at straws while I was working in the hospital. Like, what can I do to own my own business? Anything. I just need to be my own boss.
Yeah.
Does your husband have the same spirit of that?
No, he's an accountant, and like he he feels passionately about numbers, truly. Like
that's
and
really
so,
actually really
like,
important to have if you own your own business.
Absolutely.
That's so
I'm
helpful.
so thankful to have him because that's not like, I'm not a business person because I like business, you know, like I'm a creative. So it's been amazing having him. But no, he does accounting and has like clients, more like contract work. So it I guess kind of his own thing, but no, he doesn't. He can be told what to do.
Entrepreneurs just have a totally different brain. We totally do. And you're right. Like it's a creative thing. I'm envious of entrepreneurs that have the business mind. Because I'm like, people ask me about my business and I'm like, peat by potato. I mean, like, I don't know. I just knew what I wanted to do and did that. And whatever happens tomorrow happens.
Totally.
So I have to have people around me that help me with the important
we need
things,
those
like the numbers.
for sure.
I think one thing that has been really cool working alongside you or seeing your business grow is you have been really highly relational with people. Your business has grown over the past few years. Social media is intimidating for businesses right now, specifically. We all know it is its full-time role, and some small businesses don't have the budget for it. So there's just that intimidation factor of social media. I'm sure it's not perfect. You probably will sit here and say you don't have it all figured out.
Oh, absolutely not.
But I would love to hear like how have you done any shifting over the past few years, like personally, before getting on the personal side, just business wise, right? Like have you adapted to certain things to kind of keep the business to keep the business growing over the past few years as the industry is changing?
Yeah, I think, social media has, in my opinion, kind of like the COVID season is what launched social media for businesses because that's really all that we had at the time, right? Yeah. And so I think that's when I really grasped on and was like, okay, this is...
Now or never.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to... It's funny because I love doing reels, but I'm actually not comfortable in front of the camera. It's something I've had to get over and be just like a no shame, but that's not my nature. But yeah, I kind of just was like, okay. And my sister and I do a lot of stuff together on social media too. So it helps to like have a friend there with you. But yeah, I think I just took off with it when
recognized the opening and like ran with it.
Yeah. And then, definitely seasonally, like right now, I'm not crazy, like trying to make reels all the time. It kind of, it's for sure. But it's still like, it's important to me. And the fact that I do it now full time for someone else. So like my creativity, I'm always trying to find creative things for her now. And so not to say that I couldn't do it for myself, but I'm putting a lot of effort into now doing it for like her business, which is a very different business than mine.
Does it get easier like the more because for me, someone who didn't take the bull by the horns in 2020 and I was like, I don't need social media. I'm fine. I have a full book of business, not thinking I'd open a brick and mortar and like really need all of that. I didn't jump on that train and I should have. So now trying to like backtrack a little bit, it feels like a full-time job. When you get into it, is it easier or does it always feel like a full-time job?
I think it always feels like a full-time job. I think it always will be if you're doing it well, like there's always something to be posting and talking about. And, but I'm of the opinion that it is so important I'll say this, I think having a business account, there's some business people who want to keep like personal life and business separate, and that's totally fair. But I have taken on, like, I don't have a separate Instagram account. My Instagram is all of that. And I think my clients appreciate that because they know exactly who they're hiring. And, I'm, as a wedding photographer, I'm spending all day with a client and they don't necessarily need to know everything about me, but they need to know that we're going to vibe. And so I have kind of used my Instagram as like putting it all out there, and they know exactly who they're getting before they even hire me, so they can decide if they like me or not that way. So they're seeing my work, and then they're also on my stories and through reels seeing like, oh, she's fun. Oh, she like might dance with me at my reception. Oh, she, So I've used it as like, here's a get to know me before.
I have a personal page, but I actually quit using it like 4 years ago and just, I have an office page, but my work page that's like was supposed to display my work turned into like whatever.
Yeah,
like, it's just kind of
exactly.
a whatever page. But my clients do, now that you're saying that, they do give me feedback. They're like, oh, we love seeing your son or your daughter, or like, and it's just, it would be too complicated for me to manage like multiple pages. So
for sure.
People do feel more connected probably in that way.
Yeah. And I think that has done well for my business, and it may not work for everyone's business, but that's what has worked great for me, is showing like my life and my personality, not just like, hey, I take photos, you know? So I kind of really leaned into that side of social media too, just making it all like all the same thing. And here I am.
Because we went from just like, we want to see pretty squares to it felt like once upon a time, it was like a portfolio of our best of the best, right? Like this was, it was where we posted the pretty things and the best of the best of what I can do. And then I think people realize like there's some downside to that, because then we all had this disillusion of everything was perfect. And then, you know, there can be some downsides. So I think that now we're craving the real, like, oh, there's a person behind this. You know what I mean? Oh, you had to work really hard to get there.
Well, because we are so disconnected. Like, you know, they say like we're really disconnected from each other because everybody is on their phones all the time. That it does create, you're right, it does create that space for you to feel like you get to know somebody where otherwise you wouldn't get to.
Totally.
Yeah. And sometimes I always love it where like my, you know, great aunt will be like, I saw the other day.
On your, I know, my grandma on your Facebook. Mine's like, on your Facebook, post more pictures on your Facebook.
It does exist. It does exist. No, Brandi, one of the questions too I wanted to get into is, I mean, you're juggling a wedding photography career, which is a career in itself, obviously now full-time doing content for a creator as well. And with juggling the kids, how has that been? Because I think you kind of took on this second role in this, the content creation as well, probably recently within the past few years, right? So you're entering this season of kids middle school, taking that on. I don't know if it's okay to ask, just how has that been? Like how, good, bad, or the ugly during that process? And adding more to your plate?
Well, I have added more, but honestly, like my husband is such a huge help, and we both work from home. So thankfully, you know, for the most part, we are able to make our own schedules. So we just like, we know what we prioritize. We prioritize the soccer games and the cheer performances and stuff like that. And so we're able to tell clients or whoever it is, like, I'm not available at this time. So it is good that we're both like working from home, but I do lean on him for so much. He loves to cook. So he cooks like all of our food. I don't.
That's amazing.
I like can cook, but only I have, you know, a small set of recipes that my kids will request. Right.
Just one
and
of those,
I enjoy it, but he like really enjoys it. So I'm like, yes,
no, you do.
Yeah. So he like takes care of all of that. And
that's great.
Yeah. So I definitely lean on him quite a bit for all, you know, all of that. And
it is a joint effort for sure. I mean, you cannot do it alone. It is just impossible.
Yeah. I'm always amazed by anyone who does, honestly.
Whether it's a
I don't know
partner, a spouse, family, the community. That's why I think if you have community, cling to that. Because I mean, I'll say when we first got married, we didn't have that. We didn't live here, and where we lived, we just didn't have a sense of community. And it was really, really hard. It was really, really lonely. And I didn't realize that till we now have community. And I'm like, no wonder I was losing my mind. I mean, it was just, there was so many things that can feel very lonely if you don't have people who you can call or can help.
Absolutely.
What's been one of the hardest things just personally in this, like, okay, you said you're like about to hit 40. Are you excited? Are you like, I am loving this season? You know, we're talking, I mean, what we're here to talk about on this platform is just this shift that we're in, right? There's a lot that's changing, but there's good things, there's hard things. I don't know if you want to share one or the other of just like this season that we're in right now.
I've said before, like, I'm kind of already identifying in the 40s, and like, but as you
should.
Yeah.
So good.
It's not a bad thing. Like, we are 40 and
I'm so much
are
smarter.
doing great.
It's smarter.
So much smarter.
Yeah.
We're better than we were before.
I have always just felt like younger than I am. And so to me, it's just like, we're just like rolling with life. And I've been like so enjoying my daughter getting like older, going into teenage years. Like, there's also, you know, scary things that come with that I'm like, hormones. But I'm also just loving like us becoming like friends. And, you know, I say that I'm young at heart. Like, I love boy bands. I love boy bands, and
Who's
I will.
Who's your favorite? I mean, you're younger than I am, but not so much so that we wouldn't have the same kind of experience.
I'm gonna say NSYNC.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, I was so worried you were gonna say Backstreet Boys. And it was gonna be a problem.
I have love for Backstreet Boys. I love them.
Love them, but like I was gonna have to leave.
But if NSYNC were to launch a tour, my entire life savings would go towards that.
I went to every NSYNC concert ever.
That was my first concert that I went to.
Oh, so good.
That was your first ever concert?
When I was, that was the first one I went to was NSYNC.
What was your first ever concert?
Amy Grant.
Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Yes,
which is so great.
Yeah, Stephen Curtis Chapman.
I literally, my dad was a pastor, and I was only allowed to listen to Christian music.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, I grew up
Stephen Curtis
it was
Chapman,
Radio Disney or Christian music, and that was it.
And one time I got to listen to Debbie Gibson, and I thought I was like the coolest person in the world. Like, and I got to watch Saved by the Bell for the first time, but it was like 8th grade. Like I was old. I shouldn't have been watching it in 8th grade.
Well, okay, I can't remember which concert was first. They were in the same location. I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was either, do you remember Carmen?
Yes.
So I went, Carmen, that was his name.
Younger.
Yeah.
She's younger.
He was a Christian artist. Yeah. I went to a Carmen concert, but also Hanson. So speaking of boy bands.
Okay. Hanson. I love that you're an NSYNC girl.
Yeah. Love NSYNC. Okay. But I also I just went to the Jonas Brothers last weekend. Yeah. My daughter's in the Jonas Brothers.
You love boy bands in general.
All boy bands.
Does your daughter love boy bands?
She does. Like she loves Jonas Brothers. And I actually didn't take her this recent one. And she was like, what?
Excuse me.
I was like, I'm sorry, it's a mom's night out. But she was like, why am I not going to Jonas Brothers? Anyways, it is fun that we're like into kind of the same like music.
It is fun as they get older. That's what we were talking about in the trailer for this podcast was like all the things that change and like how kind of isolating it feels because you are running them around everywhere because they have all these activities, but they can't drive themselves. But they're kind of like mini adults. And so you don't really have the connection with women that you did when you were having play dates and like really like able to physically be in the same room as another girlfriend and like visit, even though you're physically exhausted. But I will say that has been a fun part, like having just different conversation. Like me and my 15-year-old son, like we joke different, like our dynamics different, you know? So it's I kind of can't wait for them to be in their 20s so I can like be adult friends with them.
Yeah,
exactly. I could just technically black out for the teenage years if I'm being honest. I'm fine to just wake up when they're 24.
Right. Yeah. I'm excited to see where it is a new. I'm trying to hold on to that because I have both.
You have little.
You do.
You still have little.
It almost, if I'm being quite honest, it's harder because not harder. I should say every stage is hard, but I mean, it's more emotional because I'm seeing them next to each other, and it's like I'm seeing how fast it goes right in front of me. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Whereas like our older two kind of grew up together, whereas all of a sudden I'm seeing my 5-year-old and my 11-year-old, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? And then they're right next to each other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's so bizarre.
Oh, I definitely still like mourn the toddler
I can't
years.
watch
like
videos without getting like
exactly
super
looking
emotional.
through my camera roll. It like
my daughter likes to watch videos at night before she goes to bed of her as a baby, and I told her the other night I was like, okay, one more because mommy is like getting really depressed.
Upsetting.
Like,
yes,
I'm actually
it is.
Unwell right now. So.
I totally feel that. Yeah, like we're excited for them growing up, but a part of me wishes they were still like 2 and 4.
You're
such a good age.
I will say that you're from what I've seen, right? I do feel like you're good at prioritizing time with friends and friendships. And I know that you would probably say like your sister's your friend, which is really special. I don't have a sister, so
she's one of my best friends.
But I do think that you correct me if I'm wrong, but like you will prioritize like, hey, I'm going to go be with my friends. I'm going to go have dinner. And how do you navigate that? Or do you have encouragement for those or like me who I don't do a good job of that. And I don't prioritize it.
Yeah.
Does it make me less of a person? I just, for whatever reason, it doesn't come as naturally to me like, hey, I need to go put this on the calendar because it's good and it's healthy, you know?
I think the one good thing is a lot of my girlfriends, we are there. Well, I say I have groups in similar ages, but then some that are like a decent amount younger and they're still, single, no kids and doing all those things. But yes, I do love like a girls' night and I will try to prioritize that. But I will say even that and like leaving for a wedding or being gone all day, like I struggle with mom guilt all the time. Or if I have to travel for a wedding, like I'll go to a girls' night and be like, oh man, like I wish my kids were here to see like even the Jonas Brothers concert.
Right.
A part of me, like I knew I needed that time and it was so fun, like, literally core memory. But I have mom guilt everywhere I go, I feel like, without my kids because I love my kids and I want them to like I want to spend time with them. And
I think everybody is so different with their female or women with their female relationships. Like I grew up with that being like the most important relationship where like I had these really great best friends when I was younger that carried me through some like really hard times. So female friendships have always been like my lifeline.
Yes.
And it's different for each person. Like if you didn't grow up with that or didn't, then maybe you're going, oh, maybe I need to incorporate that. But I do feel like there is something to sitting down like we're doing right now with other women and going, oh God, you're going through that too. Oh my gosh, that's okay. I feel that way too. It's like so validating that I think for, if nothing else, just to have it for like the, okay, I'm not crazy moments.
Absolutely.
Is so important.
Yes. Like those relationships, like we've talked about this before, I think, Stacy, but like, therapy is important. Love therapy, but also like you need best friends because they're like
lifeline.
They're like therapists too, you know? Yeah. Like that those relationships, those dinners, those like, even if it's a small amount of time is so fruitful and like life-giving, even again, if it's just like one meal together. Like
and when you know you're going to have mom guilt either way, you might as well
right, exactly.
go to it.
Yeah. But no, because it's important. And every time I'm like, oh, I'm like, we literally will end the night and be like, I'm so glad we did this. Like every time because we all need it.
And I will say too, the quote unquote guilt piece or the mom guilt that we talk about or that is just so out there all the time. I think one thing that I realized recently the past couple of years is I think as long as, you know, if you love your kids, it will always be there. You know, like you just talked about.
Well,
like
they want to see you happy. Like they want to see. I think it's my mom. I love my mom to death, but she never. I don't remember her having friends when I was growing up. I remember us hanging out with people at church, but I never remember her like having girlfriends over or going on girls' trips or doing anything. And I remember thinking like, I felt bad kind of for her, or like felt like as I grew up, like that seems kind of lonely to not have that. So I remember feeling like I wanted to prioritize that because I just felt like almost sorry for her. I remember just feeling like, ugh, you know? Yeah. So I wasn't shown that as a kid, but I'm notorious for like watching something and doing the opposite. Like even when I started my business, everybody's like, how did you know how to do it? And I said, I don't, but I know what not to do. That is literally my life motto. I know what not to do. And that's kind of where I pull from.
That's important too.
And so with friendships, I was like, I feel like this is something that's important. You have to like maintain those. And it
definitely,
it is so life-giving.
Yeah.
And because I know I have to remind myself they are going to leave one day.
Well, I would have liked to have seen my mom go and do those things. Yeah.
Then there will be.
Then right.
It's fine. But no, so with with your career and the kids, do you have certain, especially with social media, do you, anyone who's listening or who's in this phase of like, I can't juggle or I'm feeling overwhelmed, trying to juggle business and being a mom and all the different stages, do you have certain rhythms or habits every day that you're like, hey, this is what keeps me going, or this is how I, am not drowning right now?
I don't know that I have any certain daily rhythm. I think every day is very different for me. But I will say I only the past like 3 years started working out. I was never like a workout girl. I hated it. But that has definitely like helped my, like one, just to like get through days. Like it really does help start your day and like kickstart.
What's your favorite workout? Like what's your
I go to F45.
Oh,
so
my cousin does that and she loves it.
It's always like there's strength days and there's cardio days. And we try to go.
I get tired watching her videos. You should watch them.
Oh, okay. Okay. She's like
but
hardcore.
it's like weights, right? Like
so there's strength
I do
days
Pilates
3 times a week.
lay down. I like to lay down and work out.
I'm thinking about like,
as possible.
I love F45, but like I've started to think about going to something that's a little lower impact because like my knees hurt.
Yeah. Pilates has changed my life. Like it has changed my life. It's but reformer. Like you want to be on the reformer.
Well, but you're like probably so strong. I feel like Pilates.
It is definitely hard. But when I first did it, I took like a beginner class, so they were easy on me, and I was like, that was a stretch. That was amazing. Like I didn't even sweat. Like this is
but your body is. Still
but I was sore the next day.
Hard.
Yeah, I was totally sore the next day. I was like, okay, this is where you will find me laying down working out.
Yeah, I wanted to try that, but I think working out has helped, like making that a priority within my morning, which again I never did up until a couple years ago. That has helped me feel like more confident and just like know that I'm doing something right in my day and in my life is like, I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm doing my best there.
Yeah.
So I think that
You try to do it in the mornings?
Yep. We're in the 9 a.m. class every morning. And
do you and your husband go together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And that's part of it too. Like that's part of our routine.
Yep.
So I would say that's the only part of my day that's like steady
which is good. That's healthy. Yeah.
But it does help just kind of know that I'm starting my day off the best way I can. I think.
I will say having a class, having some, just consistency is huge because I'll be like, I'm going to go run a mile in the morning. No, I won't.
No.
Yeah.
But if
you don't catch me running.
The
whole home gym situation, I'm like, mine would sit there and collect dust. Like there's no home gym.
I need more motivation. I need somebody telling me what to do in some way.
Yeah.
I need to have to show up.
Yeah. Or accountability. Like
yes.
there were a group of friends that I worked out with at F45. And so we were texting each other and like, are you going to be there? Are you going to be there? And like the accountability of that is also helpful.
Yeah.
I just would say I need accountability and motivation. And just the physical health equates to better mental health, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving our bodies.
I feel like you
focused.
do such a good job of like cooking healthy for your kid, like cooking, and you guys eat really well. Like that's something like I struggle with.
Big clean eaters. It is funny.
And your kids are,
yes.
I mean, you probably raised them that way, but they all just like eat what you cook and that's
that. Sorry if you hear this one day, except for Milo. He would eat a Pop-Tart.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm glad you have one that doesn't.
He would eat a Pop-Tart all day, every day if I let him. And probably just that for 3 days. Actually, this morning, that was the argument. Yes, that was the argument in our home was he could not have another Pop-Tart this morning for breakfast because he's had so many.
Bless Milo.
But apart from that, my others do actually eat eating healthy. But I have food allergies. And so, actually, fun fact, I mean, I love cooking. I've said this before. I almost went to culinary school when we lived out in the Bay Area. So I worked for a sommelier and worked in a restaurant group. And so before I went the hospitality route, I almost went to culinary school. And so I still have the books of like I was going to go to culinary school.
Wow.
I did not know that. Yes. And so that's just like a little fun fact. So I don't now. And now I just cook for the masses at the house.
But you enjoy it.
I don't use recipes usually. Like I'll pull from recipes and that stresses my husband out. So if I have to leave him instructions, he's like, there's no recipe. What do you mean? So I we'll start from one, but then I just have fun with it. So, but I do enjoy to cook. Great. But I don't. But people come up to my husband and they're like, "Are you guys runners?" I'm like, "Runners? No, we walk. Maybe the dog." but I think that again, we are trying to get more healthy in our lives, and I think that is helpful.
You're also just like so busy. Like you're just kind of all over the place. That's your workout.
I'm trying to get rid of that word this year. Busy.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
What's a like happier word for busy?
I know.
One of our other episodes, the girl was saying, "Yes, your days are full." That sounds really nice. One of our other episodes, the girl was saying she used to wear a busy badge, and I was like, "Stacy, you have on a busy badge,
right here."
So we're gonna try and just take it off every once in a while.
But I to me, and again, going back to social media, like you're good at posting. Like I love to watch your family just bopping around.
You love to watch the busy?
I love it.
That's great.
I always want to know what is Stacy's family doing.
I love watching it. I just know you're probably tired.
I get two responses. Sometimes people will be like, "Oh my gosh, I love what you're doing," and then sometimes I have a few friends who, if you're watching, you know who you are, and they're like, "I'm so glad because of you, my kids don't do sports."
Right.
We've actually stopped everything because
they've literally watched, and she's so funny. Her kids are like behind ours, and she's like, "Because of you, you've helped me decide that my kids are not allowed to do sports."
Oh my gosh,
you've made me decide that's a no
because your life's so busy. But anyways, but that's neither here nor there. So I one of the things too, because you are. I mean, I feel like you should allow yourself to like feel, to give yourself a pat on the back. You've grown a business. You're doing a lot, and you've continued to love people well. And every time you show up, you're super humble about it. But you have become a very successful photographer.
Thank you.
For those who might be right where we are at this age, even just middle of life, being like, maybe my kids are getting older and I'm going to, I do want to start a business or I want to get into something.
I love those midlife career shifts.
Right.
I mean, those women who do that, I mean, I love it. I feel like it's so empowering. And usually it's something they've thought about for like a really long time.
Exactly.
Literally, my best friend is thinking about this in like right now, and we talk about it all the time.
And I feel like if you have lived this, you've lived so many years of like watching everyone else or seeing things, when it is time to like, hey, this is the right time, like you're gonna just go with it with all your heart. What advice would you give anyone as a business owner?
Yeah, I think something my husband and I talk about all the time, obviously there's a financial thing that like we need to do what makes sense financially for our family. But there's also a huge piece of it for me right now that's like, I'm also able to make choices on like what brings me joy and what doesn't bring me joy. And that like, I'm not going to lean into something that's like no longer bringing me joy. So it's funny, Stacy, you know this, but my family since 2007 has worked at summer camps every summer.
Oh, fun.
And we move up to the Northeast. We've been in Maine. We've been in Pennsylvania.
They're there for
all summer.
All summer. Yeah. And my husband and I started as camp counselors. And so we've done it forever. Our kids have grown up in camp and I love camp. I still feel so passionately about camp, but because of career things, trying to do camp.
Is that where you and your husband met? You said
we met
or
in
y'all were
8th
high
grade.
school. Okay. Y'all went to, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we as sophomores in college, like went together as camp counselors. So yeah, I still have so much love for camp and I feel passionately about it. I'm so glad my family does it and my kids are campers, but because of business things and trying to do both camp and work my now 2 jobs, that became something that it wasn't that camp wasn't bringing me joy, but trying to do all 3 was no longer bringing me joy. So it was more stressful trying to do all 3. So we've pivoted and we've like evolved and now my family still goes and I go visit, but
oh, that's good.
Now I am focusing more on what's here instead of trying to do all the things. But yeah, I mean, like camp was something in our lives that it's literally been a part of my life more than it hasn't, I think, at this point.
Yep. And your kids go the whole summer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're there. They're campers and they love it.
That's amazing.
I feel like you could get so much work done with kids at camp all summer.
Well, yeah.
All I'm thinking is like, wow, the amount of work
this summer was the first summer that they were there and I wasn't the whole time. So it was actually, we'll get the hang of it. But this summer was kind of like a huge shift in our lives because we weren't all together doing the same thing.
Did your husband go or did he stay with you? Okay,
no,
so
my husband was
stayed.
there and he works at camp. And I was home and I was flying back and forth and kept very busy. But internally it was like, this feels different. This was hard. It was a hard summer, just like being away. And I realized too that I lean on my husband. My husband is my best friend. Like I tell him everything. He's the first call, like when anything happens, you know? And so not always having that as an option, I realized like, oh my gosh, I miss him so much. Even though we talk multiple times a day, like I just realized there's a huge difference in us as a family being together versus just being able to like talk to each other. And so, yeah, it was a different summer and we're still learning how to like figure that part of it out, but it'll always be part of our lives. And
I will say too, do you find that as I'm getting older, change is getting harder? I love change.
I'm really good at change, but
but what's interesting is like, so I love change. I'm not afraid of change. I actually get really bored if the same things happen.
Sometimes you have to be careful when you like change too much because I feel like we add too much to our plate because we need things to be changing. Yeah. And I've had to sit in that this year where I'm like, I'm not going to put anything else on my plate. I'm just going to sit still. Sitting still is really hard for I think entrepreneurs, especially to do when their brains are like going 100 miles an hour.
Well, because I think there is this piece of our brain that's always what's next, what's next, right? And that's good. That's what keeps our businesses going. But then again, I think that seeps over into when you're saying like, okay, well, what's next? The kids are doing this. And then what, you're always thinking of the next season. And I will say that, but what's interesting is then when a change, maybe I should say if it's a change that you weren't planning on, you know what I mean? That's like all of a sudden like, oh, like that's
surprise.
A hard turn. Wasn't expecting that. Used to, I could kind of roll with the punches a little bit more. And I feel like the older I get, and maybe it's because you do feel like you're responsible for so much. Or that if something, if the ball drops, that something's going to just go awry. But I don't know if it's out of fear.
Do you think it's like what we were talking about earlier, like capacity? Like our capacity changes, like we carry more and more and more things. And then you're like, oh, I'm starting to get maxed out.
So that left turn is like going to feel like a really
It's going to feel different than it did when you didn't have as much on your plate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I will say that that's what's interesting too, when you're wearing your business hat, is you have all of these things coming at you and then, you have to flip a switch and you have to be on for your client or you have to show up. And so you are having all of these, I feel like there's switches throughout the day, right? Like I will have to take a beat before I walk into a call or before I walk into the house or before you know what I mean? I'm like, what am I entering into? I'm about to pick up my littles from preschool. Yourself. I got to check myself before that preschool pickup because that's going to be different from when I pick up my middle schooler, from when I get on this client call. I've got a team call tonight. So I feel like my mind is just constantly, so earlier when we were talking about like you, Erin said, sometimes you feel like
my head's like in a vice.
Like oatmeal.
Like that pressure or like my brain feels like mush.
Yes. Sometimes I feel like my head hurts, not a headache kind of hurt. But at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I am just flipping all of these little switches constantly. Yeah. And they're not, and none of, I shouldn't say this, but most of it's not bad.
No.
Like, none of it is bad, but it's heavy when you put it all together, you know? And then you pick up the kids or whatever and they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing.
Nothing's really wrong. I'm just maxed out.
Like, you just can't even get into the layers of everything that you're juggling.
You know what's so funny too is like before having kids, I never struggled with like anxiety or anything like that. And then something that happened with me after my son was born, my second, was like, now I'm in charge of 2 lives. And that was like a phase of like new capacity, new like having to take on more in that stage. Like that felt like a lot. Was now I have 2 kids and I'm in charge of 2 lives and keeping them safe. And like, but now looking back, like I'm doing so much more and I'm keeping kids alive.
Keeping them alive.
You know, like now we're like rocking and rolling. But back then that just having 2 kids was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? How do I like keep them safe? You know? But we've just like, you just learn and grow and now we're running all these businesses and it's like, it's different levels of like, I think our capacity, the availability for what we can take on has grown, but each time we're like adding little things, we're like, oh, okay, this feels like a lot. But then, you know,
and I think so long as you stay in the headspace of like, this feels good, the minute it starts to feel like too much, you have to sit and recognize that.
Yeah.
Right?
I think going back to like, as long as it's still bringing you joy in some way, like, and that doesn't mean that it's not going to stress you out sometimes too.
Yeah.
They're both of my jobs. There's stress involved in both. And, or, you know, Stacy, I know that this is something you've talked about, but I'm an overthinker. Like I overthink everything. And I'm also like a little bit of I like to have control over things. And so that's hard. And that's something you have to let go. But that doesn't mean that the things I'm doing aren't bringing me joy still. So I think as long as you're like still finding joy in it, then like, that's
when I even
great.
tell like our girls that work with us that I say like, if you're not loving it, it's not bringing you joy and you're not making money. I mean, you know, those two, then it's not worth it. And it shouldn't, you know, it's not worth the sacrifice. But sometimes one of those might have some give or take in different seasons of growing a business, right? We've all been there. Like you might love it, but not making money. Or you might like be, you know, having a great few months, but it's like really hard because you're overworking, but you're getting there. So I think you might have those ebbs and flows, but I'm like, if none of those are there and it's not bringing you joy and really evaluating from there. And I will say too, I don't know if you ever get this question, but I get a lot of times is like, you know, oh, you make it look so easy. I'm like, do I? Because that's
right.
Well, that's what I was telling Jen Jen earlier is when I started going through things in my personal life and would share that with people, they'd be like, oh my God, I thought your life was like perfect. And I was telling you that too. I think I'm such a real person that I almost was like, oh my God, am I being fake because of the things I'm showing on Instagram? And Instagram is a highlight reel. Like we're not going to sit there and like, I don't think it's fair and it's not smart or healthy to sit there and sulk all day because you're having a bad day. You got to find the joy in something that day and live in that. And I think that's what I was doing during those years where I was very, very stressed out, but people thought my life was perfect. And it's like, oh no, like nobody's life is perfect. And I never want to give that impression.
Totally. And I think that's something too with social media, like with what we decide to post and not post, like, there's definitely days where I've got on them and like, I am having a bad day and I'll tell that to social media, but they're like, we don't owe anybody that information either. So it's like fair for us in our lives to choose what we're putting out there and decide what we're going to internally like go through. And if you want to like, if what you're presenting is being positive and that helps you actually stay positive, I think that's something important too, you know, like, to not sit and sulk in it. Like, no, I'm going to like show up and
But
make
they do
a funny
say, like,
reel today,
you
and
make
that's
it
going
look
to make me
easy.
feel
And I'm
better.
like, well, that makes me feel better to make that reel, or to talk about only work and not talk about personal stuff, or like not talk about what's hard that day. It's nice for me to focus on the positive.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing. Not bringing a fakeness to it, but just bringing only showing the positive part, so that helps me focus in that direction.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of imperfect and editing and social media, we have a leaf blower guy, 4 of them, that will not leave us alone. And so we have to keep cutting this audio and coming back and cutting and coming. Anyways, if you hear the leaf blower in the background, just go with it. Roll with it.
They're paid actors in this episode.
We're not cutting again. We have to finish our conversation. Brandi is here for a very short time.
Whenever you come to the studio, please notice the freshly cut grass.
The 9x9 patch of grass that needed 2 riding lawnmowers and 4 leaf blowers.
Next time you come visit the studio,
hashtag unnecessary.
Okay. Yes, where were we? Yes, we were talking about just one question, because we touched on social media. Because you have grown your photography business, you are helping a creator with content and with social media. If someone is really frustrated with their social media right now as a business owner, not personally, but a business owner, is there anything that you would look at them right now and say, like, hey, thinking about social media, any words of encouragement, or just any like tips or takeaways for them to be like, okay, I'm going to be okay?
Yeah, I think like if one, realizing that social media will help your business. And I think that's probably across the board. Like, you can use it to help your business if you want to.
Yep.
And if you choose to lean into that, you kind of have to let go of some shame. Like, of like, whether it's you or if you have employees, like somebody's got to get in front of the camera. I would say, I think it's important for you to, if it's your business and especially if it has your name on it in some way, like people should see you. So I think just like letting go and just knowing like we're all just like doing our best and putting stuff out there. And
and people like when I do just raw, like I'll get on a Monday and be like, oh, okay, it's Monday. And I just I get more feedback from the videos where I just talk than I do the ones that are like staged or Lucas, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Like people are like, oh, I love it when you get on there and just talk. And I'm like, really? I didn't sound like...
Well, and it's so funny about like the things that will pop off and won't. And it's like the ones that you work so hard on and you're like, this is going to be great. And it doesn't. And like, then when you spend no time and you just like...
The girls are like ordering DoorDash in the background and they can't find the salsa that they want. And I'm like, I'm trying to record. And then people love that engagement where it's like they're seeing our real personalities.
Yeah. I think if you're going to lean into social media, I think just like let go of some of the embarrassment that, people, I get told all the time, like, I don't like to be in front of the camera. I don't either, honestly, or I didn't. And I wouldn't say I like it now, but I do it now.
Do you think in order to have a successful or a social media engagement, you need to learn the algorithm and study the ins and outs? And
do you just have to be on there every day?
The algorithm is changing constantly. And I don't think anyone ever knows exactly what to do or what's happening. I think, there's always trends. So like using trending audios and jumping on certain like physical trends too in videos. Those are important. Apparently we're not supposed to use hashtags anymore. So like
I saw that the other day. I was like, cool.
So like things are always changing, but there's always going to be trends to like try to jump on. But then also just like being personal and
do you think the one
informative.
The one thing that doesn't change is that you need to be consistently on there every single day? Like, is it
not
the
every
amount
single
of
day?
posting?
Not every single day. And that's my opinion on that. I don't personally know that there is like a right or wrong there. That does work for some people and some businesses to do, this time on this day, like Wednesdays at 2:00, they will for sure post, because you can look at insights and you can see like when people are watching your stuff and when it goes up. So like there's a science to that that you can, but I don't think you will or won't be successful if you don't post on Wednesday at 2 p.m. You know what I mean? Like, you can lean into that and try to make that work. But I think also just as long as you're staying consistent for what you are able to do. And like, I don't even know that there's a certain consistency to me. The only thing I try to do is to never have my stories be empty.
Right.
Like I always try to have active stories.
Right.
Okay.
And that's my
That's
best
a good rule
right
of
now.
thumb. Just always have an active story.
That's my best. And a story is easy. A story slide can be anything. I'm not posting reels there's no rhyme or reason to when I have a post on my feed, but my stories try to have something on them. And that's me doing my absolute best at this point.
Can I ask you if unsolicited advice, if someone's like, I just am too overwhelmed or I can't, is it worth the investment to have someone jump in and do it?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. And I think you can find people right now who will do that in a full-time space or in a part-time space. There's lots of options for that. But I think, yes, that is a good investment for sure, for peace of mind, knowing that like your business is still rocking and rolling, but you don't necessarily have to put all that time and effort towards it.
Yep.
But I think it is a good investment.
Do you think jumping into the social media for a creator role has helped you in your photographer role? Is it on the photography side? Has that helped creativity? Has it helped? I don't know. I'm just maybe not. Maybe it's unrelated.
It's definitely brought out because I do love social media and I love like making reels and it the creative in me like gets excited about it still, which is why like I'm so happy to be in this position because it is fun for me. And even the like editing side of it and I'm still also photographing in the social media space as well. But I don't know that it's like necessarily helped my wedding business specifically or doing reels for it. Cause like I said, I'm probably doing less reels in my own business at this point, but that's just by choice because I'm having a lot of fun being creative in the social media manager side of it. And, her social media is more like family and lifestyle content. And so it's a little different, but I'm having a lot of fun, like finding inspiration in doing that. So that's just by choice. I think I could probably find some time and lean into my own business, like wedding photography stuff more. But right now I'm not as worried about it, I guess. And I'm just like, doing my best, still shooting weddings, but I'm not like pumping out all the content for my own stuff as much as I did. But I feel okay about that.
It's probably nice because it mixes things up a little bit. Like
totally. Yeah. And that was something why like camp was always so great too. Like going to camp and like photographing at camp was such a nice change at the time. Like for the summer when I would shoot 40 weddings a year, it was nice to be able to just like go up to the Northeast and like kind of take a beat,
So are you booking 2026 weddings?
I am. I'm still booking weddings. Just like
the big question.
Yeah, definitely still booking weddings. I don't have any plans to stop shooting weddings completely. I'm just like slightly slowing down, but I honestly don't even know what that looks like exactly yet.
In the wedding industry.
It's just going to be like, I'll know when it happens. Like, okay, I'm not going to take any more or,
It happens naturally. I feel like I slowed down this year. This year was very different than the 4 years before that. And it just happened kind of organically.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll just like feel like I'll just
it feels a little awkward at first because you're like, wait, was something happening? And then I was like, oh no, this is like what it's like to own a business for X amount of years and it's kind of on autopilot now. Right. And I had to like recognize that and not fill space with my dead space.
Yeah.
Because I for the first time had some downtime and I was like, my best friend went and got like 2 jobs and I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
She was like, well, I mean, I've waited around for basically like our whole friendship for you to not work. And I'm like, well, that was poor timing.
Right.
Because I really would like to go to lunch today. So that's not fair.
That is the goal to like work less, but still have a thriving business.
Yes.
Like as entrepreneurs, that's what we're working towards, right?
I am the worst though.
But I think
if I had,
you're like, oh, I have some spare time. Let's fill it with something else.
Yeah. But the best part is I've been able to sit back and for the first time, appreciate what I built. Everybody was always like, aren't you so proud? Aren't you so proud? And I was like,
you never took the time.
I guess so. Like I never saw it until I stepped away and really was kind of still in the quiet and like went, oh, I did do that. Like this is happening. Okay. Like that. And it is important for us to do that because we need to like see what we've worked so hard and blood, sweat, and tears over. Like you need to sit back and look at it and not just continue filling space with other things. You need to see what you've already done.
Absolutely.
Or you can't appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I would say for those, I know we've been talking about business who are starting a business or thinking about it. Give yourself grace. Now granted, some might take off right away or you might become, super crazy popular on social media. But for the most part, it takes time and it takes several years before you start seeing that rhythm and the consistent cycle and profitability. And so it took a lot of years. We just don't just sit here and it just kind of happened.
Yeah. I mean,
and so I think if you're going into that, just knowing that like it's going to take time, it's going to take years, but have that end goal in mind and the long-term game and the long game in mind, knowing that the first couple years are figuring it out. I mean, you always are. And I always say the second you stop learning, you're going to be behind. And so every year is different.
Yeah.
This is our 9th year in like full business on the event side. And every year I'm like, okay, what can I learn? How can we adapt? How can we do better? Opening a second business now, I'm just like, how can we do better? And so I think that if you always have that mindset of learning as things are adapting, it's challenging, but it's fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Okay, we have a few fun rapid fire questions.
Love it.
Rapid fire questions.
And we're all 3 answering?
Yes, I think we all 3 should answer.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Morning person or night owl?
I think I can be both. I'm
a butterfly.
I think I can. Like I'm the first one up in the morning. I wake up the kids. I'm not like grumpy in the morning, so I wouldn't say I'm not a morning person, but I also like I can stay up late if I need to. But I will say like I love sleep. I could right now put my head down and I'm gonna fall asleep. Like,
okay, would you rather stay up late or wake up early?
I would rather.
I thought this was an easy one.
No, it is, but I don't think I'm like not one. I think I would rather stay up late.
Okay.
I think morning person over here. Morning.
You would rather wake up early than stay up late.
I'm a night owl.
I think I have to answer it that way because my body, if I'm being transparent, will wake up at 6:30. So if I choose to stay up late, no, I can barely sleep. But if I choose to stay up late, I'm still waking up at the same time. So whether I like it or not, my body has made a choice for me that I'm a morning person.
Yep.
I don't actually, I don't have a choice. So my body says I'm a morning person.
I actually don't get a choice.
Thanks.
I'm a night owl that really wishes I was a morning person. Because I
think a lot of night owls wish that.
Yes. I mean, it goes back to when I used to work at the library in college and I worked the night shift and I closed up the coffee shop when I was working I always had jobs, and when I worked in the restaurant industry, I had late jobs. So and then the wedding industry, I'd get home at midnight 1. Yeah. So I think I've always had, my life choices and career paths have led me to have not a 9 to 5 that has kind of encouraged me to stay up late. And I really do like when my kids go to bed, they're out in the morning. It's like, who's going to wake up?
The other day you had a meeting at like 9 o'clock, like a team meeting or something. And I was like, I don't understand what's I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was.
I have a glass of wine and I'm on the couch. There is no meeting happening.
In the evening.
At 9 in the evening. And I was like, you still have how many things to do? And it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, I'm done. I clock out at 5.
Yeah, no,
I can
my kids.
I can still handle those evenings. I was trying to plan going back to like having a girls' night, and there was an event happening after dinner. So like if we had an early dinner, that would be silly because we would have this in between time. So they're like in a group text, like, what time is dinner? I was like, I think we should do 8 o'clock. And one girl was like, oh, okay, so bedtime. Like,
literally. Well, some of us have a shift and we're just not the night shift crew.
Bedtime.
That's not bedtime on this evening. But yeah, it was funny.
I'm such a morning person, you guys, that I actually worked night shift for 2 years as a nurse in the NICU.
And you'd still.
And I would come home, and Nicole, my best friend, I lived with her and our other roommate, Crystal, if they were up visiting, I would actually stay awake just to not have FOMO of like, I didn't want to miss out what was happening during the day. So I would like stay up and then I'd sleep for like 2 hours. It was miserable. But I was like, if I worked during the day, it'd be fine because I would just sleep in. I mean, like, come on.
Yep.
Who does that? They used to make fun of me. They'd be like, we tried to whisper because we didn't want you to hear us talking because we knew you'd get up.
I think I would be the same way though.
Yeah. FOMO.
Yes, absolutely.
Like big time.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee. I walked in this door with 2 iced coffees. I was double fisting coffee.
There was like one period of time where I tried to drink tea.
No, I mean, like I love like sweet tea, but no, there's no comparison. No.
Sweet tea with barbecue. Okay. Favorite way to unwind after a long day?
Am I allowed to say a spicy margarita?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that sounds so
absolutely.
I love a spicy margarita.
Like at home?
Yeah,
or
I
like
make
going
it.
out?
Or either one. Either. But yeah, I'll make one at home. And for a while I like gardened and I like grew my own jalapenos, and I would like go cut a jalapeno and put it in like in that moment. We don't anymore. It's a hilarious situation in the backyard at this point. But I used to like, I'll make it myself.
Mom's
and I don't do
the jalapenos again.
I love that.
Tahini rim.
I love a spicy margarita. That's my go-to drink if it's not a glass of wine. Like I'm a Chardonnay, which my girlfriends were making fun of me. They were like, that's such a old lady, like wine. And I was
For
like,
what?
is it Chardonnay? Like I was getting made fun of by actually my step grandma was making fun of me. She was like, isn't like a Sauvignon Blanc like way cooler than a Chardonnay? And I was like, probably, but I'm bringing back the Chardonnay buffet. I have even hashtagged this Chardonnay buffet word.
That is
I'm like,
so
I'm
funny.
bringing back Chardonnay and I'm going to make it trendy.
Chardonnay
is good.
On a buffet.
On a buffet. Chardonnay buffet.
Is good.
I unwind with a Chardonnay buffet.
Okay, no, but what I was going to ask is after a long day, I'm trying to get better habits in my life, but do you, if like you have, you're like, I just can't go to sleep right now. Will you turn on a movie show where you read? Are you just like listening to music type person? Is there something that you're like, if the kids are asleep and I can have some time, what would that look like?
I'm probably scrolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few shows that I watch, but a lot of the shows we watch, our kids like to watch it too.
Yeah.
We do like game shows, cooking shows.
Do you watch Big Brother by chance?
No,
You
I
should
used
with your
to, but I
kids.
don't anymore.
You should with your kids because I started watching it with my kids and they get so pumped about watching it like that because it's on 3 nights a week.
That
so it
makes
gives
sense.
us like 3 nights a
I
week.
was recently introduced to Love Island, which my kids won't watch that, but I can get with that.
Yeah.
But Traders, if no one ever watched Traders, watch.
Can your kids watch it?
They can. There is a little bit of language, and they just know don't say anything you hear. But Traders is so good. It's like competition show. It's like kind of like a mole situation. Like who is the trader? But it's with celebrities or like it's so good. My kids are obsessed with them.
Okay.
What about you?
What is your Chardonnay buffet?
Oh,
your favorite way to unwind?
Oh, I mean, I scroll. I'm a TikToker. Unfortunately, TikTok has consumed me and I'm trying to back off of that. So I also love a hot bath. I will not lie. I love a bath. And I will watch a show while I'm in the bath on my phone with a glass of wine.
I love to watch like makeup tutorials. I'll just sit and like put on a makeup tutorial.
Yeah. And then I'll never actually buy the stuff.
Ideas.
Stacey's going to have a list. She's taking notes over here.
Yeah.
I love a glass of red wine. And
what's your favorite red?
Pinot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I will just do a glass of red wine and then
she's really like, I'll return emails. That's how she's like, I schedule my next staff meeting.
And then I have my usual 10 p.m.
Did you return emails? Is that how you unwind?
Well, I wasn't. That's the real answer, but I was going to try to be cool.
No, this is an
what
honest
else? With your
podcast.
Pinot. With your Pinot, what else do you do?
No, I like to turn on movies that I've already seen.
Yeah.
Like, just that I'm like, that I'm not having to like, oh my gosh, if I fall asleep, I'm going to miss it, So just
if I return this email, I can miss this part because I already know what happens.
We do that with shows. Like we fall asleep to The Office.
Yeah.
We're big Office fans. So that's one that like,
but I mean, I will
it
say,
can be in the background and I'm not like, I can fall asleep to it.
If we don't have something to get done, just never. But my husband and I, we will like have certain shows that we like when it was Ted Lasso or like the Chicago Fire ones, like stuff like that. We'll have our little ones, but glass of red wine, yes. One word to describe this season of life. One word.
I would say I'm trying to trust.
One word, is it trust?
So trust. Trust was trust. Like not trusting people, but like trusting like myself, trusting God, trusting that like what's happening right now is what's supposed to be happening.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We're doing all the things, but we're just trusting that it's all for a reason. And if there's days that I feel anxious or feel stressed out, like I'm just trusting that it's all still for the good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I like that. Erin?
I kind of go between two words.
Fine.
I'm going to say transformational, but also surrender, which goes to trust. So surrender's it's been my big word all summer. I literally wake up every morning and I out loud, I surrender my kids to you. I surrender my relationships to you. I surrender my house. I have a rent house. I surrender the rent house. Do something with my business. Everything is like I'm holding very loosely. My palms are wide open because that's just the phase of life I'm in where I do not want to control things anymore because I've recognized that that's not always the best way.
Right.
I really,
or sometimes
truly
we don't even have it.
We don't.
Think we do.
Yeah. And I
don't have the control that
I don't even want it anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't want it. So surrender is a big, big word for me, but I've had such huge transformations just within myself. So I think those two words stand out. So I can't choose one. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Stacy.
I'm going to choose one that seems like it might be fitting. I will say preparedness, like preparation. I think we are going through different shifts and transitions, personally, professionally, relationally. But we're not like making big decisions right now. So I think that like there are things that I'll hear conversations or something will happen, or, just there are things that I'm like, okay, these are nuggets. And I feel like there's going to be change coming over the next couple of years. But I don't know what that is. So right now I'm really trying to make sure that I'm like wise in the preparing that I'm doing for whatever that might look like.
Yeah.
And so I would say I feel like I'm just like preparing myself to be open to change, preparing myself to be steadfast if it's not change, and it's, being content and whatever that might look like, but like preparing my heart to be open or to, keep moving forward and listening.
To trust and surrender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of all comes together.
All the things.
Thank you so much, Brandi,
for
being
here.
here.
It was so fun having you.
So fun.
That was so fun.
This was amazing. Be sure we will share.
We'll share all of her info. If you guys will like and subscribe, share this podcast with your girlfriends if you think they would enjoy it. We just hope you guys feel supported, get something out of it. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.